This is Make It Simple by FSDH, where we simplify everything business and money.
My name is Ayodele Akinwunmi. I work in FSDH Merchant Bank, and I've been in financial industry for over 2 decades now, and greater part of that I have spent in FSDH. Before my current role, I used to work in research. I led the team. Now I am working in corporate banking, where we structure short, medium-term loan for large and aspiring large corporates. Today, I am going to be sharing with you, our listeners, some tips on how to grow your wealth, such that when you retire, you'll be financially independent. And the good news about it is that over 67% of millionaires today are self-made, and they took certain steps, which I am going to share with you today. The first step you need to take is that you must have a financial goal. You must set a goal for yourself. You may think, oh, when I retire in the next 40 years, I want to be a billionaire. I want to have, say, 4 billion, 5 billion in my portfolio that will be generating income for me. And therefore, I will live on the interest for the remaining part of my life. So that goal must, like you always say, must be smart. And what does that mean? It means that it must be specific. You must actually set a figure, and you must set when. It must be measurable, such that when you are achieving it and you know, then being again specific, you can set it to 40 years from now, but then on an annual basis, what do I need to do? Once you have set that goal, you can then list out a couple of things that you must be doing, steps you must take now to actualize that financial goal that you set for yourself. And it must also be achievable, not something that you can achieve. So your goal must be achievable. It must be something that in your lifetime you are able to achieve it. It must also be realistic. And the realistics in terms of this level could be, how much money do you want to be setting aside on a regular basis? It must be within your means, because you need to spend money on other things. And your rate of return with which you need to grow that fund must be realistic. I mean, in Nigeria today, we have treasury bill, 1 year treasury bill that you can get at 26%. But if you are setting a goal of, say, I want to double it every year, 100% return is not achievable. It's not realistic. And then your goal must be time-bound, such that, again, like I mentioned, you can set about 40 years for yourself, and therefore you break it down into an annual goals. What do I need to achieve this year? And at the end of the year, you then come back to say what you have set up your mind to do this year. Have you been able to achieve it? That's number one. So, as a form of a recap, you must set a financial goal. Number two, you must have a regular source of income. Either you are a salary earner or you are a businessman that you are running certain level of business. And therefore, it is from that income you are making, either as salary or income that your business is generating, that you must set something aside on a regular basis. As a salary earner, I advise on a monthly basis. Now, when you save that money, you can't just put it in a place whereby it's not generating any return. You look for an investment partner where you can plug in that money and it begins to generate for you. And therefore, when you sleep, your money is working for you very hard. And of course, you need to develop a budget around it. And what do I mean by that budget? You can set, like I mentioned in the first point, setting a goal. You can tell yourself 20%, depending on the level you are, 20% of my income must be saved and invested. Like I mentioned, when you save the money, you take it, that means savings means that you do not consume everything today. You postpone it. As you save it, you channel it to investment straight away. And it is from that investment that your income is going to grow, to multiply. So you don't just save and keep it idle. You want to ensure that your money that you have saved, you deprive yourself of the current consumption, works for you. And that takes me to choosing a wealth management partner. And I can assure you, FSDH is here for you. That you want to talk about FSDH Merchant Bank, FSDH Asset Management, FSDH Capital. We are here for you. And what do we do as your wealth management partner? We help you to structure a portfolio after listening to your goal, after reviewing your budget that you have set for yourself, and after looking at your risk appetite. And risk appetite is very important because there are some people who will not like to invest in stock, equities. They don't have, because the prices, the return, the portfolio can go down. But there are some people who are risk taker. Some are risk averse. And then so after listening to you, we can tell you these are the instruments. So we develop a portfolio for you, and we show you the kind of instruments that we can have in that portfolio that will enable you achieve the financial goal that you have set for yourself. Now, the next thing you need to also do is that you need to also educate yourself on those instruments, on how money works, on how financial instruments works, and also to develop yourself, to upskill yourself. Now, upskilling yourself makes you to be able to earn more money if you are a salary earner. Upskilling yourself in your business that you are running also enable you to generate more money from what the business you are running. And as you are generating more money, as you are earning more salary, you are able to save more. And save more in terms of absolute number. Remember, the first thing that you need to do, you have a financial goal, you have a budget. So you've told yourself you are going to be saving 20% of your income on a monthly basis. So having done that, if you are earning 5 million or 1 million, 20% of 1 million is 200,000 that you can save. But then if you develop yourself, you upskill yourself, you are able to now earn 2 million naira. Or your business is able to generate 2 million naira. It means you have doubled the amount of money you can set aside for savings and for investment purposes. And one of the things that I need to mention here is that it is the financial goals that you have set for yourself that will determine how much of your income that you can save. Some may say, oh, I want to be a multi-billionaire at retirement. I want to ensure that I am earning X amount of money. So if you are setting figures that are very big for yourself, it then means that today you must start to save a greater percentage of your salary or of your income. So that is very important. Then the next thing is that when you understand how those financial instruments works, you also learn about the economy, you learn about financial markets, and you learn about what drives investments and how it impacts you. That will enable you to know, in conjunction with your investment partner like FSDH, to be able to situate your portfolio away from certain instruments or in line with certain instruments. And I can tell you today, in Nigeria, for instance, interest rates is quite high because the central bank wants to tame inflation. They want to bring inflation down. I think the current inflation is about over a little bit above 34%. And central bank is maintaining a very aggressive policies to enable people save part of their money in various instruments, government instruments, with banks, and postpone current consumption. So as you are doing that, inflation rate will be coming down, and that provides opportunity for investors to then key into some of these things. And again, you can also think about within that framework, within that monetary policy framework, what instruments will do well. So people may think, oh, at this level of high interest rates, commercial paper at the moment, some of them are 30%, some of them are 28, 25. Oh, if companies are borrowing at that high rates, equities may not perform well, particularly companies that are borrowing money from the public to run their business, because it means that financing costs will go up. Then what you then need to do, then you can now situate your portfolio a little bit in favor of fixed income securities. And by fixed income securities, I'm talking about federal government bonds, meaning that you are lending money to the federal government savings bond, you are lending money to the federal government, treasury bill, you are lending money to government on the short-term basis. On commercial papers, you are lending money to corporate to fund their working capital needs. But the easiest among them all is that you talk to an investment partner who can curate other instruments for you that is investing on all these instruments I've just mentioned, and we call that mutual funds. So if you have such investments in mutual fund, you seed your portfolio to a professional manager, fund manager, who can then help you to grow it. So what you need to be doing on a regular basis is that you just send your money to them. You can even set up, a standing order, debit standing order with your bank, where the money as your salary enter the account, then certain percentage that you have set yourself for goes straight away to your fund manager or wealth manager, as the case may be, and it is going on a monthly basis. And I always like to use one illustration about what I'm talking about. So for instance, if you start your investment portfolio with 5 million naira, and then you are committed to adding, say, 2,500,000 to it annually, and the investment produces an annual return of 12%, and you did not take the money, and you have a goal to keep the money for 40 years. Now, at the end of 40 years, the money, your portfolio would have grown to 2.38 billion naira. And the interesting part of that is that the interest that your portfolio will be generating at year 40 will be in excess of 255 million naira. That may be enough for you to live on for the remaining part of your life. And you still have your capital of, say, 2.38 billion naira there. That is very impressive. During your own working life, you have developed, platforms that enables you to live well at retirement. The next step you need to take is that you need to cultivate the habit of giving back to the society. Having deprived yourself, and then you have invested money over your working life, and you have seen your funds, your wealth grown astronomically over that period of time. It may be time for you to think about what can you do to help people. Some of the things you can do to help people could then be, some people give money to their religious bodies, organizations where they worship. They can give to a church, they can give for certain cause, they can give to mosque, they can give to orphanages, and that's a way to give back. And you can even continue to say, I have learned this over this period of time. Can I bring up a group of people, younger people who are just starting their career, starting business, and what I have learned over the last 30, 40 years, let me now reproduce it in them. Those are ways to give back to the people. And the last point is, you have made money at retirement, say at 65 or 70, depending on when you started. You want to ensure, and the interest that you are generating over that investment you have made is now enough for you to live for the remaining part of your life. Then you need to create a structure where you will pass on that money, particularly the principal, to the next generation, such that that will be your own inheritance. Some people give it to their children, some people give it to club, they give it to society, but then in this instance, let's say you want to give it to your children. So there are various structures that if you work with us in FSDH, that we can create for you to enable you pass on your wealth to the next generation. So FSDH is your trusted partner in your journey to success, be it fund management, wealth management, financing your business. We are here for you. All of this can be as simple as FSDH. Together, we achieve more.